Hi, everyone. I'm Erika Del Sordo. Welcome to today's Talk with Erika. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel and all of my audio podcasts. You can find all of those links in the info and about me sections on both the YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Now, today I have Lynn Lessell. She's an entrepreneur at heart. While everyone saw her as Wonder Woman, she was exhausted, frustrated. Her health suffered from the stress, and she ached from what she calls many hat syndrome. Sound familiar? Devising her strategy to discover who she wanted to be, that secret identity no one else saw behind the mask she unknowingly wore, is what led to her mission to help others realize the unidentified power they already have within them. Now, while doing all of this, Lynn raised two wonderful sons who are now successful business professionals themselves. Lynn, welcome to today's Talk with Erika. How are you?
I'm great, Erika. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction and having me here on your show.
You are very welcome. I love having new people, new entrepreneurs, and you especially. We just made a connection recently, and it's a wonderful connection. I love what you do, and I want to learn more, as does everyone else. Now, you do hold a bachelor's degree in business management and marketing. You're certified in health and life transformations. In that, you founded It's Why LLC, and that's ITZY LLC. Talk to me about this. What is that?
I really appreciate you asking that. A lot of people don't necessarily ask about the name, and it is ITZ because the whole premise of anything that we do when we want to be better is you make one little change and that can make the difference. So everybody expects It's Why it's going to be IT''S. Nope, ITZ, because that one little difference can really bring that why at the root to the surface.
Well, I like that. Okay. So talk to me about what you do with your clients. How do you conduct your business? Let's talk about a typical day in the life of your business.
Okay, well, most of my clients meet with me over Zoom or over a phone call. I've worked with some people individually, one-on-one, because they prefer that. But most of my clients have really felt the benefit of working in a group. Now, here's the interesting part about that. I've been named the identity coach by my clients, and the reason is because I do help them find that secret identity, but that's not what they actually come to me for. What they come to me for is, Lynn, I don't know, I'm always going to all of these events, I'm doing all of this networking, and I don't get it. It just isn't building my business the way I want it to go. Well, here's the thing. Networking is really everywhere in life. In business, we call it networking. In our personal lives, we call it schmoozing. And so what is the bottom line? We're trying to build really good relationships. And those relationships are what typically in the professional world will turn into business. Well, here's the thing. Most important, more than anything else, in order to build a great relationship with someone else, you have to have a great relationship with yourself.
So true.
You can't do that without uncovering and revealing that secret identity. And if it'll be okay with you, I'd like to use an analysis that I typically use with my clients.
Please.
To really make the point here. So I'll typically ask, who's your favorite superhero? If you don't have one, that's okay. Because for today's example, I'm going to talk about Superman. We all know Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really matter what age level we're at. We know Superman. And so I want to ask you a few questions. Superman, in that role, everyone expects him to save the day. Everyone expects him to arrive immediately when they call for help. And then in a moment of downtime, he jumps into a phone booth and suddenly he's his alter ego, Clark Kent. Well, Clark Kent, well, what does he do? He's a newspaper reporter that is expected to report all the most current news ASAP, in addition to always reporting the moment-to-moment news about Superman. Okay, wait a minute. Isn't that himself? So then Superman, Clark Kent, he's got friends and family. Some are on Earth, some are on an alien planet. Each expects him to be a completely different type of person. So, audience, I will ask you, for those of you who are listening, has anyone ever asked Superman who he wants to be?
Right.
What's his secret identity?
Wow.
Bottom line is, we all have one. And when we can say that we recognize that, then we're no longer wearing many hats, as you described about my story. You suddenly wear one hat that says me, and you are me in every area of your life. And that's really the foundation of everything greater.
I like that. What a perfect way to describe that, because it's so true. That's so, no one asks Superman, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be? That's a wonderful way to put it. When I was reading about, your processes, you have a 4-step process. I don't know if you want to talk about what that entails, what the details are
Sure.
behind that.
Well, the whole idea is to get to the secret identity, but you can't jump straight to that. There's a lot of layers that we kind of have to go through. So that's why with my clients, I primarily work in a 6-week program, whether it's individual or group. And the first 3 weeks is working on their story. Now, a lot of people may say, okay, that's easy, right? Like, what's so special about that? Well, it's been determined based on everybody that I work with that most of my clients have agreed when you say, what's your story? You get this little mini movie that goes across your forehead. It's like, it's in my brain. Oh, okay, yeah, I got it. That's my story.
Yep.
Interesting thing about it is that when we really start to work on our story, the things that we initially believe that define us turn out to possibly not be what we really believe makes us who we are at all. And so what I ask of my clients is, write the story. I know you just saw that quick flash and maybe that's it, but write it down. Don't write a book. Don't write a chapter, just a paragraph. Because when you write it down and then read it back, then you start to really dig deep into who you believe you are at the core. And so we work on that over 3 weeks with workbooks that are given out before each video call. And it's thought-provoking questions, like ways that we don't normally on our own look at ourselves. And so we get through the story. And when we get through the story, suddenly we have to ask ourselves, what do we believe and why do we believe it? And we work on that and how that fits in the story. So that's step 2.
Okay.
And then the third step is now putting all of that together to uncover and reveal that secret identity. And when you have those 3 powerful steps completed, because you've implemented them correctly, we plug them in to my formula. And so here's the thing. No matter what you do, if you use these 3 steps correctly with the formula, you're going to build better connections in just about every area of your life.
I like that. Oh, that's so true. So what happens after that four-step process? Does someone graduate? Where do-
Well, that's an interesting question, and I appreciate you asking. So, in my experience, because I'm a member of two Chamber of Commerce, I'm an ambassador of one of those chambers. I before COVID happened, I was actually on the road, out meeting and talking with people in about 6 different cities.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
speaking to a lot of professionals, because I, as a professional, went through this. I found that no matter how successful I might have been at every job, the purpose was always the paycheck.
Hmm.
It was never about me. So that secret identity never came out. Okay. My secret identity is right out there. I think I told you this when we had a conversation the other day, is that I describe myself as a cartoon on feet because
Yes.
I'm very animated. Um, I never, I wasn't always that way though. I really wasn't. And so now I'm fully me and I'm out there. So when we get through those 6 weeks, because most professionals really want it, they want to dive down and dirty real fast and build business, right?
Right.
And my clients have done some amazing things in transforming in just those 6 weeks. But one thing I discovered was that when you're dealing with all these daily stressors, it actually affects you internally with symptoms that don't show up until they become red flags.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
we very rarely put two and two together, that this big red flag of something going really wrong has anything to do with stuff that may have gone on over the last 6 years.
Hmm.
Right. And
Right.
so in order to be fully and completely in tune with yourself and be the maximum me that you want to be, I believe it's really important that we understand a whole health perspective. And
Hmm.
so when we get through building on our
Excuse me.
business,
Hmm.
when we get, no worries. Are you okay?
I'm fine. It's not COVID.
Uh, I didn't think so, but I'm glad. When we get finished getting through these 6 weeks, and now they've got this formula where they're going to be able to go out and make the impression that they want to make on everybody that they meet. Like, who am I? Who do I want you to see me as? Because as we know, no matter what we do, it's about know, liking, and trust somebody.
Mhm.
So we have to give out that right message.
Mhm.
So now we've got that accomplished. We're out there kicking some butt and building new business, or maybe making new friends, or building a new community, whatever that might be. What about the rest of the body? The
Mhm.
mind is doing really well now, but everything's starting to shift internally. We haven't really been paying too much attention to that. We've been thinking about all of the emotional stuff, right?
Mhm.
Well, how much are we hydrating? When we get to the end of that 6 weeks, we suddenly feel renewed energy. We feel minimized stress. There's a whole bunch of things going on. So why? What can we do to make that better? So
Mhm.
I take that into an extension of that program for another 6 weeks, where we start to really examine the basic wellness facts of a wholesome lifestyle and how that connects to everything that we've just discovered.
Mhm.
And when you put all of that together, everything starts to shift in every environment of your life. And I
Mhm.
think very often we think of it very horse blinder, if you will. We look at it as one big piece, whereas the different dimensions of our life really show up in different pieces of pie. The question is, are we equal in all those pieces?
Mhm.
And so that's part of what we work on.
I like that. You've got a very nice customized way of helping people. That's wonderful. And I hear music in the back, because that is soothing. Do you have soothing music? That, let me tell
Yes.
you, you're talking and I'm like, woo, it's like the, oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
I
Oh,
kind of
wow.
just keep that spa music going in the background, and I apologize if it's disrupting on
Not,
here at
well,
all.
it's not disrupting me, but it's very soothing while you talk. So I like that.
Yeah, it's just it's very calming, and this is an interesting. I'm actually glad you brought that up. It was not something that I've always done, but I found that my body language completely changes when I have that music playing.
Oh, I can see that.
But it's like an unconscious reflex. And it all started one day. I was having a conversation with somebody. I had something going on unexpectedly. So, like a normal human, get a little bit like, okay, crazy about it, right? Well, she said, well, what do you do to unwind?
Mhm.
Like, what's your most calming moment? I said, well, when I'm getting massage therapy and I hear the spa music and I
Oh, yeah.
completely tune out the rest of the world. And I said, wow, okay, that's when my body's the most relaxed. Well, how relaxed could I be if I play this in the background while I'm working? And I actually find myself being a lot more productive. And if I forget to turn it on when I start my day, it's a funny thing, but I can notice by the afternoon that I'm suddenly, my pace is faster, my energy is a little more amped in
Mhm.
a bad way. And I'll say,
Ah,
I stop myself and I go, what's out of sync here? And then I realize I didn't put my music on.
music is powerful. It's really, it can change a day, right? I mean, your favorite
Yes,
song comes on, or, and it makes you more motivated, and it
absolutely.
definitely helps the way you work. You know, Moving on, you were talking about just the stressors and how the body reacts. I want to tell a quick story about 4 or 5 years ago when I was undergoing a lot of stress, just at work and in the outside life, and just in general, tons of stress. And I had a tooth that was bothering me so badly that my dentist wanted to give me a root canal. And I was like, I don't like anything. I won't take a Tylenol for a headache. So I'm like, I really don't want that.
Mhm.
But I said, let me try a few things. I knew that I was under a lot of stress. Eliminated the stress, and that tooth has not hurt me in 5 years. So, isn't that interesting? I've told a few people that story. Stress does some very interesting things to your body. That
We
tooth
never
had no
give it credit
problem.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's just crazy.
Well, thank
But
you so much for sharing that story. It's really a
yeah,
beautiful example of
I think
how we unknowingly get affected by it.
absolutely. I think a lot of people need to know that. Maybe look at what's happening in your life before you go into a surgery, before you, naturally, if you have cancer, that is something completely different. But, before you get a root canal, what's really going on? And it just blows my mind that I have no tooth problems whatsoever. And it just took getting rid of some stress in life. So that was pretty amazing. Taught
I
me a
actually,
lesson.
I just actually had a funny thought come to me because of your story. Think about it. Isn't it this cliche that you have a toothache until you get to the dentist office and then the toothache
Right.
goes away?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be interesting if what you're saying about your story about stress is actually the origin of how that even came to pass? Because maybe it
Hmm.
really was never the tooth at all.
Yeah, this is true.
Interesting. Thank you
That's
for
all.
that story.
You're welcome. It's just very interesting. I thought that was very interesting. I know that stress can And I've got, other stories from different people who've said their body stopped working, and you just eliminate stress and all of a sudden your body works again. And it's just crazy to me how that works. Stress is a debilitator, a serious debilitator. So, with that said, I just love talking to you. You're very good at what you do. You're very soothing, calming. You really ease someone's day. So,
I
thank you for
really do
sharing everything. Let's talk about where
appreciate
folks can find you. Do you have any links, websites? And I do want to make mention real quick that I will put all of that up in the info and about me sections. If anyone is looking for you and they can't copy this down, you can find it in the info sections. I'll post those there. But let's tell people where they can find you.
I will be happy to do that. I'm in the process of getting my website ready for a launch, which will happen by the end of this month,
Okay.
if not sooner. The website will be itzwhy.com, nice and short. So if you want to get to the root of anything, you come to It's Why. And I'm also currently on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Perfect.
On LinkedIn, you find me under my name, Lynn Lessell. On Facebook, you can find me under It's Why. I do have a business page. On Instagram, It's Why Coach, all ITZ. And one thing, is it okay if I just share a little something extra?
Please, we have time. We do have time. So tell me, yes.
Okay. So I think we've talked a lot about stress and stressors, and maybe a couple little things about what we've done to alleviate that a little bit. I'd like to first say that I believe it's more about building resilience than eliminating stressors, because I don't think we can eliminate the stressors. I think we can only choose how we react to them. But one of the ways that I have taken a stand to be able to impress upon others how important it is to be self-responsible and take care of themselves is I trademarked the term Me Monday.
That's right.
And we just recently had a 1-year anniversary a few months ago. And over the past 1+ years, I've been doing a weekly post, a weekly Me Monday post, an inspirational and motivational article, blog, whatever you'd like to call it, on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. Well, the exciting news is that I have made such an incredible impression on my readers. And for those of you listening, if you've never heard about Me Monday is a day that is on the calendar every week for you to plan something, no matter how small, no matter how short amount of time, but something, especially for you, that's your me time. It's a holiday on the calendar like any other holiday. I invested to make sure of that so you can do something special for yourself. Well, once the website is officially launched, the article will come off the social media and be available on the website, so that with the input of your first name and an email address, you can get that inspiration and motivation delivered to your inbox once a week.
I love that. That's perfect. You know what? Let's dive in real quickly more about Me Monday. Why again did you call it Me Monday? Why Monday? Because people are thinking Monday, that's my busiest day. Is she crazy? You want Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's talk about why you picked Monday.
Thank you for asking that. I actually trademarked it because the reaction I was getting was like, are you crazy? Monday's the worst day of the week.
Right.
And I said, well, I might be crazy, but I'm still going to pick Monday, because here's what I believe. If you can schedule something special for yourself on the worst day of the week, if that's the way you perceive it, and you start to look forward to doing something every week on that day for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
then it's a piece of cake to spread that out to every other day of the week.
So true. I love
I
your
don't
reasoning
I
behind
don't
that.
want to do it slow.
Yeah.
Let's go right to the worst day of the week. And you know what's funny? As a working parent, I can say that I know a lot of other working parents who have actually said they can't wait to go back to work because they work harder on the weekends, catching up with everything that they're not home to do with their
It's
families and
true.
themselves,
Mm-hmm.
that they sometimes they feel like they're not exhausting themselves as much on the job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that says to me that they're not really getting much me time on the weekend either. So how great would it be to finish the work week and be so excited that the weekend is coming and have a whole weekend to plan
Mm-hmm.
me time on Monday?
Mm-hmm. I
Sounds
like
like
it.
a no-brainer to me.
Exactly. So once you explain it, everyone's thinking, well, that sounds totally normal. That makes sense. I like that. I really like that. And I love that you trademarked it. That's incredible.
I needed, you know what? I felt, here's a cliche, how to put my money where my mouth is, because otherwise people were like, yeah, whatever. It's like
Yep.
any other of those cutesy things. Oh no, I'm serious. Like,
That.
this really matters. It really makes a difference. Now I'll prove it. And here you go.
Yep. I
And
love
so
that.
I think, I think anybody that's listening to our conversation today, I just invite them to try it once, even
Mm-hmm.
if it's just 15 minutes. I actually, Erika, I'll tell you, I use my phone more for reminders, but I get a morning reminder to take a 5-minute spa break. And every day at the end of the night, about a half an hour before I know I'm going to crash,
Mm-hmm.
I have a reminder that comes up on my phone that says, celebrate what you've accomplished today.
I like that.
Because I found myself at the end of the day thinking about all the things I didn't get accomplished and all the things I first have to get to the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was affecting my sleep, which again gets back to the health
Mm-hmm.
in relation to everything else. Well, guess what? When this goes off and I start thinking even the small things that I've accomplished, and I smile and I give myself that, emotional pat on the back and
Mm-hmm.
say, wow, I really did accomplish a lot today. And suddenly I'm going to sleep in a whole different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So I invite anybody to copy my reminders because they're definitely helpful.
That's true. And it doesn't matter what time. If, maybe your night times are crazy, maybe morning is the best time. Say a prayer, do your
Yeah,
reminders. Yeah, whatever works, whatever works. But
exactly.
thank you. Thank you
Exactly.
so much for sharing everything. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I would just like to say, if you are somebody that's listening and you feel like you're stuck in whatever it is, no matter how small it is, and you can think of one small thing outside that stuck zone that you might be able to do, it's not about getting unstuck. It's just about making that ever so little change
Mm-hmm.
that's going to help move you forward. Because if you stay where you are, you can never get to a different place. And if
Very
you have
true.
trouble determining what small step to start with, the support and accountability that you can get from the identity coach is definitely beneficial.
I love that. I do want to remind everyone that all of your information, all of your links for social media, your website, everything, I will have in the info and about me sections. This has been extremely helpful for both myself as well as my viewers and my listeners. Thank you for being with me. And we'll be talking a lot. And of course, I'll have you back on at some point as
Thank you
well.
so much, Erika. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you and getting to know you as well.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thanks for listening to today's talk with Erika. Join me next week for another discussion with the experts who help make life easier. Please visit my website, erikadelsordo.com, where you'll find all of my social media platforms and more. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Once again, thanks for listening.